Now let's learn about decorations. They are divided into motifs and buttons. First, crochet the motifs and sew them together. Finally, sew on the buttons. Use the magic ring method to start the motif. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise. While crocheting, some positions require corresponding flower patterns. There are 2 types of flower patterns in total. Start by crocheting in rounds. Work the first few rounds of the motif. After completion, crochet pattern 1 and pattern 2 separately. Then combine pattern 1 and pattern 2. Continue crocheting in rounds. For convenience in distinguishing, the flower patterns are not counted in the number of rounds for the motif. Several crochet stitches will be applied, all of which are marked on the chart. I won't go through each one with examples. Now please watch me demonstrate the specific crochet method. Start with a magic ring. Take out the corresponding color yarn. After completing the starting chain, begin crocheting the first round. Start by making 3 beginning chains. This counts as 1 double crochet, then work 1 chain as an interval. Next, make 1 double crochet into the magic ring loop. After completion, crochet 1 chain for the interval. Then hook 1 more double crochet in the adjustable loop. For the first round including the turning chain, you need to complete 8 double crochets into the magic ring. Separate each double crochet with 1 chain. Everyone finish crocheting this round. After completing the last chain, tighten the starting loop. Then, on the third chain of the turning chains, pick up 2 loops and make 1 slip stitch. Pull tight. Cut the yarn. Leave this yarn tail for now. Weave in the starting yarn tail inside the fabric. You can hide a few more stitches if needed. Trim any excess yarn tails. The first round is now complete. We will consider the right side of the first round of double crochets as the right side of the entire piece. This is the side with the clearer texture. All following rounds will be crocheted on this side. Next, we'll crochet the second round. Take the corresponding color yarn. Join the yarn in any 1 chain space from the previous round. To make it more convenient to weave in the ends, I join the yarn in the chain space to the left of the tail. Then crochet a DC4 popcorn stitch, also known as a small popcorn. Start with 3 chain stitches as the turning chain. The turning chain counts as the first stitch. Then insert the hook into the same space, and work 3 double crochets. As you crochet, weave in the yarn tail. Once done, slightly enlarge the loop. Remove the hook. Locate the third chain from the turning chain. Pick up the 2 strands at the edge and insert the hook. Draw through the loop that was left. At the same time, make sure the double crochet stands out. Finally, secure it with a chain stitch. That completes the small popcorn. Because we started with a turning chain, this technique is a bit special. Chain 1 for the interval. Then pick the adjacent chain space. Crochet a small popcorn. Start with 4 double crochets. Pay attention to weaving in the yarn tail. After completion, release the loop. Then insert your hook into the first stitch. Draw the loop through. Make sure the double crochet stands out. After completion, secure it with 1 chain stitch. That finishes the small popcorn. This is the regular method. Continue with 1 chain stitch as an interval. Pick up the chain space below. Crochet a small popcorn. After completion, add 1 chain stitch as an interval. Then pick up the next chain space. Crochet another small popcorn. Leave 1 chain stitch between each popcorn. Finish with the last small popcorn. Add 1 chain stitch at the back. Now everyone, check your work. There are 8 small popcorns in this round. After completing, pick the first small popcorn. Start with the 3rd chain of the standing stitch. From where you inserted before, work 1 slip stitch. Tighten it. Then work 1 chain and cut the yarn. That's how you complete the 2nd round. Now move on to the 3rd round. Pick up the corresponding color, make a slip knit. Join the yarn in any chain space from the previous round. For convenience in weaving in the ends later, I'll insert the hook into a chain space to the left of the yarn tail. Draw the loop through. Adjust it slightly. Then work a DC2 bobble, also known as a bobble stitch. From now on, I'll just call it a bobble stitch. Start with 3 chain stitches as the turning chain. Then pick the chain space and work 1 double crochet. Pay attention to weaving in the ends. Here, the turning chain and the double crochet form a special bobble stitch. Next, work 3 chains as a bridge. Then make another bobble stitch in the same space. Start with an incomplete double crochet. Yarn over. Insert the hook. Yarn over again. Hook out. There are 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over. Draw through the first 2 loops. There are 2 loops left. This is an incomplete double crochet. Continue with another incomplete double crochet, yarn over, insert the hook, yarn over and pull through. Then yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops. There are 3 loops on the hook now. Yarn over, and draw through in once. That completes the DC2 bobble stitch. This is the regular crochet method. Here, I consider the left and right bobble stitches, and the 3 chain stitches in between, as one group of bobble stitch pattern. Continue downward. Pick up the adjacent chain space. To crochet the DC2 bobble stitch pattern, start with 1 DC2 bobble stitch. Begin by making 2 incomplete double crochets correspondingly. One, 2. Then yarn over at the end, and draw through in once, completing the DC2 bobble stitch. Then, crochet 3 chain stitches as an interval. In the same space, make another DC2 bobble stitch. That completes the bobble stitch pattern. Next, pick up the chain spaces and crochet the bobble stitch pattern correspondingly. Complete the remaining part. Finish the last motif. Join with a slip stitch into the stitch of the double crochet on the left side of the beginning chain. Tighten. Fasten off the yarn. Leave the yarn tails for later. That completes the 3rd round. The fabric in this round will be slightly uneven. This is a normal occurrence. Continue crocheting the 4th round. Pick up the corresponding color on the previous round, in the gap between the bobble stitch motifs, which is between 2 bobble stitches. Join the yarn where there are no chain spaces. I will join the yarn in the gap on the right side of the yarn tail. The method is identical to joining the yarn in the first 2 rounds. I won't go into detail about it. After completing, make 1 chain as your beginning chain to start. This is the turning chain for single crochet. The beginning chain of single crochet doesn't count as a stitch. Work 1 single crochet in the same position. Insert the hook. Yarn over and draw through. Now there are 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over again, and draw through once. 1 single crochet is done. The braid on the upper right is your stitch marker. Pick up the adjacent chain space, crochet 1/2 double crochet, yarn over, insert the hook, yarn over, draw through. Now there are 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over again, and draw through once. Complete the 1/2 double crochet. The braid on the upper right is your stitch marker. Chain 1 for the interval next. In the same space, work 1 double crochet. Follow the pattern of 1 chain and 1 double crochet, repeat 3 times. After completing, continue with 1/2 double crochet, yarn over, insert, yarn over and draw through. Then yarn over and draw through all 3 loops on the hook. Complete the half double crochet. Here, I consider the stitches in one hole as part of the pattern for this round. Think of this as one motif for this circle. Pick the adjacent gap below. Work 1 single crochet. Insert. Yarn over and draw through. Yarn over again. Draw through the 2 loops on the hook. Complete the single crochet. Pick up the chain space behind. Crochet the pattern. Start with 1/2 double crochet. Work 1 chain for the interval. Below, repeat 1 double crochet and 1 chain. Do this 3 times. After completing, continue with 1/2 double crochet. Finish the pattern. Then pick the gaps and work single crochets respectively. In the chain spaces, crochet the motif. Complete the remaining part. Finish the last motif. At the starting single crochet, slip stitch into the single crochet stitch. Tighten it. Cut the yarn. Leave the yarn tail for now. That completes the 4th round. Next, work on the 5th round. Join a new yarn in the single crochet stitch from the previous round. I will join the yarn here at the yarn tail. Then make 1 chain as your beginning chain. Remember, the beginning single crochet doesn't count as a stitch. Next, slip stitch into the same position, and work 1 single crochet. Insert the hook into the chain space of the motif below. Start with this chain space. Work 1/2 double crochet and 1 double crochet. After completing, pick up the adjacent chain space. Crochet 3 double crochets. Then work a CH3SL picket. From now on, I'll simply call it CH3SL picket. First, chain 3. Then pick up the stitch of the double crochet below. Select the front yarn strand and also the left side yarn strand. Work 1 slip stitch. The slip stitch here doesn't need to be tightened. Moving forward, unless otherwise specified, all slip stitches will not be tightened. This completes 1 CH3SL picket. Continue by picking up the adjacent chain space. Crochet 3 double crochets. In the next space, crochet 1 double crochet and 1/2 double crochet. Here, I consider the stitches worked on top of the pattern as one group of the pattern for this round. Continue downward. Pick up the single crochet position and work a corresponding single crochet. At the location of the previous round's pattern. Correspondingly work the pattern for this round. Start with 1/2 double crochet and 1 double crochet in one space. In the next space, crochet 3 double crochets. After completing, make 1 CH3SL picket. Start with 3 chain stitches. Then pick up the stitch below in the double crochet, hook the thread closer to you, and the thread on the left. Work 1 slip stitch. Complete the picket. For the next 2 spaces, crochet stitches that are symmetrical to those before the picket. The motif is now completed. Work single crochets correspondingly into the single crochet stitches below. Crochet this round of motifs corresponding to the chain spaces in the pattern. Finish crocheting the remaining part. Complete the last motif. Slip stitch into the starting single crochet stitch. There's no need to tighten here. Continue with the edging. First, stretch the loop. Leave a yarn tail of about 5 centimeters. Cut the yarn. Then find the second stitch from the left. Insert the hook from behind. Pull through the reserved yarn. Insert again into the braid formed by the slip stitch on the back, that is, the braid below the thread. Pick up the outer half loop and insert. It's the strand at the back. Pull through the reserved yarn. Adjust slightly. Finally, hide the yarn tail inside the fabric. This completes the 5th round. Continue to the 6th round below. For this round, work on the wrong side of the fabric. Find any motif from the 4th round. Locate the half double crochet stitch on the right, at the back of this stitch. Pick up the back loop of the stitch. That is, the strand at the back of the braid. And the horizontal bar below it. Insert your hook. You will pick up a total of 2 strands here. Join the yarn. Then make 1 beginning chain. Work 1 single crochet in the same position. Next, crochet 3 chain stitches as an interval. Find the center double crochet stitch of the motif nearby. On its backside. Pick up the back loop of the stitch. And the horizontal bar below it for inserting your hook. Work 1 single crochet. After completing, make a 3 chain stitch interval. Continue by picking up the left half of the half double crochet in the same motif. Pick up the back loop of this stitch. And the horizontal bar below it. Work 1 single crochet. I consider these 3 single crochets, and the chains in between as one group. Crochet 3 chain stitches below as an interval. Then pick up and crochet a group from the adjacent pattern in the 4th round. Start by picking up the right half of the half double crochet, pick up its 2 loops. Work 1 single crochet. 3 chain stitch interval. Then pick up the 2 loops of the centered half double crochet. Work 1 single crochet. 3 chain stitch interval. Then pick up the left half of the half double crochet, pick up its 2 loops at the back. Work 1 single crochet. That completes one group, followed by 3 chain stitches as an interval. Continue picking up from the pattern in the 4th round. Crochet another group like this. Separate each group with 3 chain stitches. Finish crocheting the remaining part. Complete the last group. Follow with 3 chain stitches as an interval. Then slip stitch into the chain space on the left side of the single crochet to begin. Don't tighten or fasten off the yarn. That completes the 6th round. Now move on to the 7th round. Start with 1 chain as your beginning chain. Then insert the hook into the chain space below and work 1 single crochet. Follow with 3 chain stitches as an interval. Then pick up the adjacent chain space. Crochet 1 single crochet. I consider the single crochets on both sides, and the chains in between as one interval group. This forms a pattern unit. Pick up the adjacent chain space below to continue crocheting. Work according to the pattern of 1 double crochet, 1 chain stitch, repeated 4 times. After completing it, continue with 1 double crochet. I treat this stitch pattern in the whole as one motif group. Crochet another interval group below. Start by picking up the adjacent chain space, and working 1 single crochet. Follow with 3 chain stitches as an interval. Then pick up the next chain space, and work 1 single crochet. This completes 1 interval group. Work the corresponding pattern into the chain space behind. 5 DC in 1 space, 1 chain stitch between. After it's completed, you can discover all the patterns are located here. Between the positions of the previous patterns. The interval is located right behind the previous pattern. Continue following 1 interval group. For 1 pattern repeat. Finish the remaining part. After completing the last motif, join with a slip stitch in the starting single crochet. Tighten it. After the slip stitch is done, pull up the loop to enlarge it. Pass the ball of yarn through the loop. Pull tight. This completes the 7th round. Next, crochet the 8th round. Bring the yarn to the right, up to 1 motif from the previous round. Insert the hook into the chain space on its far right. Pull the yarn through. Then chain 2 as a beginning chain. Next, pick up the double crochet stitch that is centered in the motif. Work 1 double crochet into the picked up stitch. Here, the beginning chain and the double crochet stitch together form a special DC2 tog. Continue with 2 chain stitches as an interval. Next, work a DC2 tog. First, pick up the position of the double crochet at the end of the decrease. Work an incomplete double crochet. Then, pick up the chain space on the far left of the motif. Work another incomplete double crochet. Now you should have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and draw through once. This completes the DC2 tog. Follow with 2 chain stitches as an interval. Then pick up the end of this decrease point, together with the chain space on the left side. Work a DC2 tog. First, work 2 incomplete double crochets separately. Finally, yarn over. Pass through all loops one by one. This completes the DC2 tog. Follow with 2 chain stitches as an interval. Continue downward. Pick up the same chain space and the chain space on the right side of the adjacent group. Crochet 1 DC2 tog here. While crocheting, you need to secure the picket from round 5. Yarn over the hook first. Locate the corresponding picket below. You can see on the wrong side, there are 2 vertical lines like this. Insert the hook between these 2 vertical lines. Then come back up. Pick up the chain space and insert the hook. Crochet an incomplete double crochet. Then insert the hook into the corresponding space on the left side. Crochet another incomplete double crochet. Finally, yarn over and draw through all loops on the hook once. This completes the DC2 tog. At the same time, it secures the bottom of the picket. Continue downward by crocheting 2 chain stitches as a spacer. Then, at the end of this decrease, insert the hook into the position corresponding to the centered double crochet of the motif. Crochet 1 DC2 tog. Chain 2 as a spacer. Then pick up the same double crochet position and the leftmost chain space of the motif. Crochet 1 DC2 tog. Chain 2 as a spacer. After completing, continue by picking up the same space and the chain space on the left side. Crochet 1 DC2 tog. Chain 2 as a spacer. Continue downward by picking up the same space again and the right hole of the left motif. Crochet a DC2 tog. At the same time, secure the bottom of the picket. Then pick up the chain spaces between the motifs and spacers. Correspondingly make a DC2 tog. Above the motifs and at the intervals, crochet 2 decreases as you match them. When crocheting the DC2 tog on the left side of the interval, make sure to secure the picket below. Here, the beginning and ending of the decreases are connected. Meanwhile, there is a 2 chain space between each decrease. Follow this method, and crochet the remaining part. For the last decrease here, you need to secure the picket. Then pick up the hole in the interval, and crochet connecting it to the hole where you joined the yarn at the start. After completing the decrease, crochet 2 chain stitches. Finally, slip stitch into the double crochet stitch on the left side of the beginning chain. Pull tight. Break the yarn. And hide the tail inside the fabric. This completes the 8th round. Next, we'll work on the 9th round. For this round, you need to crochet with 2 colors. First, refer to the chart and pick up the corresponding color. Here, I will call the starting yarn color 1. The other color is color 2. Find the spot from before. Where there was a decrease with a beginning chain. On the DC2 tog on the right side, pick up the stitch and join color 1. Then make 1 chain as your beginning chain. In the same position, work 1 single crochet. While crocheting, place color 2 above the hook. Leaving a little yarn tail. After completing it, pick the adjacent chain space, and work 1 single crochet. At the same time, switch to color 2. First, work an incomplete single crochet. Insert the hook. And at this point, place all the yarn tails above the hook. Hide them as you crochet. Then yarn over and draw through, leaving 2 loops on your hook. This is an incomplete single crochet. Next, pick up color 2. And hang it on your left hand. Yarn over the hook, and pull through all loops on your hook. This completes the single crochet, and at the same time, the color change is done. Pick the adjacent chain space below, and crochet 6 double crochets. After finishing, continue with 1 more double crochet, while switching back to color 1. First, work 1 incomplete double crochet. Then pick up color 1. Making sure to pull the yarn taut before changing colors. Keep the fabric piece flat. Yarn over the hook. Pull through. Completing the double crochet, and at the same time, finish the color change. I consider 7 double crochets worked into one chain space. As one fan pattern, pick up the adjacent chain space below. And work 1 single crochet. Next, start from the adjacent decrease position, and pick up the stitch to work 1 single crochet. Work the pattern of making 2 single crochets into a chain space twice. After completing, pick up the adjacent chain space and work 1 slip stitch. Then, crochet 3 chains. Work 1 small popcorn stitch into the same space. After completing, continue with 3 chains. Then, pick up the same chain space again, and work 1 slip stitch. I consider the stitches worked into one chain space as one popcorn pattern group. Move down and start from the adjacent chain space. Work the pattern of making 2 single crochets into a chain space, and work 1 single crochet at the decrease position twice. After completing, work 1 single crochet into the adjacent space. At the same time, change colors. First, work an incomplete single crochet. Then pick up color 2. Yarn over, and pull through to finish, completing the single crochet and color change. Move down and crochet a fan pattern by picking up chain spaces, that is, work 7 double crochets. At the 7th double crochet position, switch to color 1. Upon reaching the corresponding position, first work an incomplete double crochet. Then pick up color 1. Yarn over, and hook out, completing the double crochet and color change. At this point, the fan shape is completed. Continue backward, picking up chain spaces, and working 1 single crochet. Later, work 1 single crochet at the decrease position. Work the pattern of 2 single crochets in a chain space twice. After completing, pick up the next chain space. Crochet a popcorn stitch. First, work 1 slip stitch. Then, make 3 chain stitches. Next, crochet a small popcorn stitch. After completing, continue with 3 chain stitches and 1 slip stitch. The popcorn stitch is now completed. Here, the 2 patterns alternate with each other. There are 7 single crochets between each pattern. The only difference is the number of stitches worked on the sides of the patterns. For the fan shape, work 1 single crochet in each adjacent chain space. For the popcorn stitch, work 2 single crochets in each adjacent chain space. Moving forward, follow this method: 7 single crochets, 1 fan shape, 7 single crochets, 1 popcorn stitch. Use this technique to finish the remaining part. Note: switch colors for the fan shape. After completing the last popcorn stitch, continue with 5 single crochets according to the pattern. Add the initial 2 stitches, which makes up the total of 7 single crochets. Finally, everyone check your work. There should be 4 fan shapes in this round, and 4 popcorn stitches. When you're done, join with a slip stitch at the starting single crochet. Pull tight. Here, leave color 1. For color 2, leave a little yarn tail before cutting it off. Hide the color 2 yarn tail inside the fabric. This completes the 9th round. Next, start crocheting pattern 1. There are a total of 4. Each pattern 1 requires 2 rows of stitches. Continue with the previous yarn tail. First, pick up the single crochet stitch on the left. Work 1 slip stitch to carry the yarn along. After completing, make 1 chain stitch to start. Then move to the left. Pick up the double crochet stitches of the fan pattern respectively. Work double crochets evenly into each corresponding stitch. Insert 1 chain stitch as an interval between double crochets. Above the last double crochet, pick down into the adjacent single crochet stitch from the previous round. Work 1 slip stitch. This completes the first row. Proceed with carrying the yarn across. First, stretch the loop. Then bring the fabric out through the loop. Gently pull to tighten. This completes the carrying yarn technique. Continue with the second row. Locate the starting position of the first row. It's this single crochet stitch next to the fan pattern. Insert your hook. Pull the yarn through. Hook it out. Then adjust the length of the carried yarn. Here, it's about the same curve as the first row. You can leave it a little longer. Then make one chain stitch to start. In the same position, work one single crochet. As you crochet, place the carried yarn over the hook. Wrap it in as you go. Next, move to the left. Pick up the double crochet stitches and chain spaces. Work 7 single crochets correspondingly. Then crochet a picket at the back. When slip stitching here, pick up the single crochet stitch. Insert the hook under both loops, one from the front and one from the left. After completing, continue to the left picking up chain spaces and stitches. Work 6 single crochets correspondingly. After finishing, in the same position as the previous row's slip stitch, work 1 single crochet. Finally, fasten off the yarn. Hide the yarn tail inside the fabric. That's it. One flower pattern is now complete. Move down to find the next fan shape position. Join the yarn on the single crochet stitch to the right of it. Then make one chain as your beginning chain. Follow the crocheting method used for the first flower pattern. I won't go into further details. After completing the first row, carry the yarn across. Then continue with the second row. Finally, fasten off and weave in the ends. That's it, your second flower pattern is now complete. Continue using the same method for the rest. Continue above the remaining 2 fan shapes. Correspondingly crochet pattern 1. That concludes the explanation of crocheting pattern 1. Next, correspondingly crochet pattern 2 above the popcorn clusters. There are 4 of them as well. Each pattern 2 requires 3 rows of crocheting. At any popcorn cluster, pick the chain space on its right side and join the yarn there. Then make 1 chain as your beginning chain. Then pick the same chain space again. Work 1/2 double crochet. Continue with 2 double crochets. Follow that with 1/2 double crochet. 1 single crochet. 1/2 double crochet. 1 double crochet. After completing, pick the chain space on the left side. Crochet symmetrical stitches, that is, 1 double crochet. 1/2 double crochet. 1 single crochet. 1/2 double crochet. 2 double crochets. 1/2 double crochet. Finally, work 1 slip stitch. We will change colors next. Break the yarn. That completes the first row. Move on to the second row. Pick up the corresponding color. Join the yarn in the second stitch, on the right side of the first row. That is, this double crochet position. Insert the hook into the picked stitch. Then make 1 chain as your beginning chain. Next, pick the stitch on the left. Work 1 SC2 in 1. That means making 2 single crochets in one position. 1, 2. The SC2 in 1 is now completed. Continue with 1 single crochet in the adjacent stitch. The next one is a single crochet position. Work 1 slip stitch. Continue picking up stitches as you move down. Work 1 single crochet. Then work a SC2 in 1. That means making 2 single crochets in one position. Continue with symmetrical crocheting afterward. Start by working a SC2 in 1. Then work 1 single crochet. Work a slip stitch in the single crochet position. Continue with 1 more single crochet for the remaining part. Work 1 SC2 in 1. Work 1 single crochet. Leave the remaining part unworked here. Fasten off the yarn. That completes the second row. Continue with the third row. Pick up the chain from where the previous row started. Pick up 2 strands to join the yarn. Make 1 beginning chain. Pick up stitches while moving to the left. Crochet 2 SC2 in 1. Work 1 single crochet at the back and a slip stitch. This is the position of the previous slip stitch. Pick up the chain and insert the hook to continue crocheting. Work 2 single crochets behind. Make 2 SC2 in 1. After completing the increase, work 2 single crochets. Then work 1 slip stitch. Work 1 single crochet. Make 2 SC2 in 1. Work 1 last single crochet. Then fasten off the yarn. That completes the third row. Hide all the yarn tails inside the fabric. You have now completed 1 pattern 2. Continue below using the same method. Crochet pattern 2 above the popcorn stitch pattern. Pay attention, each row of pattern 2 needs to change colors. That concludes the explanation for crocheting pattern 2. Crochet the 10th round next. Crochet along the corresponding positions of the 2 patterns and the 9th round. This round requires crocheting with 2 colors. First, refer to the chart and pick up the corresponding color. Here, I will call the starting yarn color, color 1. The other color is color 2. Pick up the corresponding color, which is color 1. Find the third single crochet stitch among the 7 single crochets on the left side of any pattern 2. Join the yarn there. Then, chain 1 to begin. Crochet 1 single crochet in the same position. While crocheting, place color 2 yarn over the hook. Leave a little yarn tail. At the same time, switch to color 2. Start with an incomplete single crochet. Insert the hook. At this point, place all the yarn tails over the hook. Hide them while crocheting. Then yarn over. Draw through. There are 2 loops on your hook. This is an incomplete single crochet. Next, pick up color 2. Hang the yarn with your left hand. Wrap the yarn around the hook and draw through all the loops on your hook. This completes the single crochet, and at the same time, the color change is done. Then move to the left. Crochet above the first flower pattern. Pick up the stitches individually. Correspondingly make 5 double crochets. Pay attention to keeping the yarn flat. Make 3 half double crochets. Find the chain space next to the picket stitch. Insert the hook into the position. Work 2 single crochets. Make 3 chain stitches. Work a small popcorn stitch in the last single crochet, mindful of the stitch position. It should be the front loop of the single crochet, and the strand on the upper left. Then work 3 chain stitches, and slip stitch in the same position. We will make 3 chain stitches. 1 small popcorn stitch. The 3 chains and slip stitch form a bean pattern. After completing, continue in the chain space of the picket stitch. Work 2 single crochets. Move to the left. Pick up the stitches individually and correspondingly make 3 half double crochets. Work 3 double crochets. Make 2 double crochets on the last single crochet of motif 1. When working the second double crochet, switch to color 1 at the same time. First, make an incomplete double crochet. Then pick up color 1. Before switching colors, make sure to pull the yarn taut and lay it flat. Keep the fabric piece flat. Yarn over the hook. Draw the yarn through. Complete the double crochet. The color change is also completed at the same time. Here, 1 DC2 in 1 has also been crocheted. The number of stitches above flower pattern 1 is symmetrical on both sides. Below, continue picking up stitches for round 9, the 5th stitch out of 7 single crochets. Work 1 single crochet. Above flower pattern 2. Work 2 single crochets into the stitch of the SC2 in 1. Into the first stitch of the second SC2 in 1. Work 1/2 double crochet. Work 1 double crochet. Work 2 double crochets into the second stitch. Work 1/2 double crochet. Continue with 1 single crochet in the adjacent stitch. Behind is the previous slip stitch position. Work 1 slip stitch. Continue crocheting the following stitches. Correspondingly work 2 single crochets. In the first stitch of the third short needle increase. Work 1/2 double crochet. Work 1 double crochet. Work 1 double crochet in the second stitch. On the stitch of the fourth SC2 in 1. Correspondingly work 2 double crochets. Work 1 double crochet in the next single crochet. Work 1/2 double crochet. Continue with one single crochet in the adjacent stitch. Work one slip stitch in the slip stitch position. Done. Work one single crochet downward. On the first stitch of the fifth SC 2-in-1. Work one single crochet. Work one half double crochet in the second stitch. Work 2 double crochets. On the first stitch of the sixth SC 2-in-1. Work one double crochet. Work one half double crochet. Work one single crochet in the second stitch. Pick up the back stitch. Crochet one single crochet. Finally, at a distance of 2 away from the flower pattern, work one single crochet in the third single crochet position counted from right to left, and complete the color change. The method for switching colors is the same as before. First, work one incomplete single crochet. Then pick up color 2. Yarn over the hook. Pull through. Complete the single crochet, and finish switching colors. Next, crochet above the first flower pattern. Refer to the crocheting method used for the first flower pattern above. While crocheting, don't forget to carry the yarn. The color change should happen on the last stitch of the corresponding color. After completion, work a single crochet on the fifth of the 7 single crochets. Later, when crocheting above the second flower pattern, you can refer to this second flower pattern here. After finishing each flower pattern above, you need to work a single crochet on the corresponding stitch of the 7 single crochets. Insert the hook here. It's all 2 single crochets away from flower pattern 2. You can also refer to the chart for specifics. Following this method, complete the remaining part. After finishing the last flower pattern 2 above, start slip stitching on the single crochet below. Pull tight. For color 1, leave a little yarn tail, and then cut color 2. Hide all the yarn tails inside the fabric. This completes the 10th round. After completing the motif, we'll move on to sewing. Sew the motif slightly above the front band seam. You can also sew it according to your preference. Then cut an 80 cm length of yarn, in the same color as the main piece. Thread it into a yarn needle. Insert from the inside. Leave a tail. Then sew along the 4th or 5th round edge of the motif. Pay attention to passing the thread through the inside of the motif. Make sure no sewing traces show on the right side. After sewing, sew one more round along the edge of the final round of the motif. Be sure not to show any seam on the right side. Do not sew the small popcorn stitch in the last round of the motif. Tie a knot inside at the end. Weave in the yarn tail and fasten off. Start by tying a knot with the reserved yarn tail, then weave in and fasten off. This completes the sewing of the motif. Next, sew on the buttons. The buttons are divided into purl buttons and lace trims for buttonholes. Sew them at the edge of the front band, where it meets the front piece. A purl button is sewn onto each corresponding position. The corresponding position for the first purl button, a lace trim for the buttonhole, is also sewn. Please watch me demonstrate the specific sewing method below. Let's start by sewing the purl buttons. Cut a 20 cm piece of yarn, in the same color as the front band, on the edge of the left side of the neckline. Sew one purl button. Finish by tying a knot. Weave in the ends and break the yarn. That's how you sew the purl button. Sew one purl button on the front band above the motif as well. below the motif, and along the edge of the front band, so one purl button in each spot. The method is the same as for the purl button at the neckline. Everyone, sew the purl buttons securely. Finally, at the corresponding position of the first purl button, sew a lace trim. Take the lace trim. Cut it from the connection point below. Be mindful not to cut the yarn loop of the elastic above. Next, cut a 20 cm piece of yarn, in the same color as the front band. Sew the lace trim securely. Be sure to leave the elastic loop on the outside of the front band. Make sure no sewing traces are visible on the right side of the fabric. After completing, weave in the ends and fasten off the yarn. That concludes the explanation of the decoration. Up to this point, the entire process of making the bib has been fully explained. If you have any questions during the process, don't hesitate to reach us via our website, Susan's Family, supporting your handwork experience, sharing the joy of life. Thanks for watching everyone. See you in the next episode.